Hey, quick! Don't think about a catapult. What are you thinking about? Is it something like this? Let's talk about it. A viewer sent me this video, and it is Michael Reeves building a catapult. And it's not every day a super famous YouTuber builds a siege device. This is a perfect excuse for me to discuss said catapult. Now, for those of you who have not seen Michael Reeves' video and you have somehow found my video instead, to quickly go over it, Michael Reeves built a catapult to fling fake dogs off a roof because his girlfriend's dog is just so lovely. Now, I don't know any dogs that I can think of that I would want to fling off a roof. My one friend has this dog and he is just the cutest thing. I love the guy. He never bothers me. I am never annoyed in his presence. I would never want to see that dog fly off a roof. The real point of today's video is to discuss how Michael Reeves fell for misinformation. That's right. When I say don't think about a catapult and you think about something like that, that machine never existed in a serious military capacity. It is not what a catapult is. I'm the siege captain. Today we're going to talk about how that is not what a catapult actually is. It is a phenomenon so popular it actually has its own Wikipedia page called the torsion Mangonel myth. So let's start right with talking about Michael Reeves's machine. Now, if you haven't seen his video, it is very entertaining. It is chaotic. I love that guy's energy. It's a great video. And this is by no means saying that Michael Reeves was even remotely trying to be historically accurate. Again, I'm just using this as an excuse to try to get people interested in siege weapons. The first thing to discuss about Mr. Reeves's machine is the elastic bands, and that brings us to our first part of the myth. Torsion. Now, obviously, ancient or medieval sources did not have elastic bands. There are depictions of catapults using giant bows that are akin to elastic bands, but those definitely did not exist either. I had also fallen for the torsion Mangonel myth, the medieval misinformation of a catapult. The first siege machine I built and showcased on this channel was basically that, but I used a torsion spring. Now, of course, torsion is a lot cooler than elastic bands, a lot more sophisticated, the thinking man's power source, if you will. But even that machine with a torsion spring, that didn't exist either. That's not where the problem lies in Mr. Reeves' machine. Now, I'm sure astute students of siege warfare, especially people that have been watching this channel for a while, will be thinking, well, siege captain, that machine does exist. The onager, you have me here. There's one crucial difference on the onager. From what I've read, onagers never got that large. The ancients preferred a flatter trajectory so they could aim and hit a moving mass of men. That was achieved by this little guy right here, the sling. We can say almost assuredly that all onagers delivered their payloads using a sling. Also, I'm not an onager expert, but a lot of them have the arm going past 90 degrees and smacking into a giant pillow. You can adjust the trajectory of the projectile with the length of the sling, giving you a lot more accuracy than a lobbing trajectory. There's a lot of physics we could go into about the sling, but I'm trying to keep this video short. So yes, the onager did exist, and it ties beautifully into the third part, the myth part of our episode. So stay tuned to hear more about the onager. The next part we have to get into of the torsion Mangonel myth is the word Mangonel itself. Torsion machines were ubiquitous in the ancient world. The ballista, the onager, these machines had many different names. The Romans called ballistae catapulta. The word catapult comes to us from Greek, originating from the word catapultus, or a machine that hurls something that can pierce a shield. But over time, the word catapult just became a blanket term for anything that hurls something down range. And the same is true for the word mangonel. Now, torsion machines were ubiquitous. They were complex machines. The ancients wrote manuscripts, mathematical formulas, so that anyone could build the perfect torsion device. What happened to this knowledge? Well, the last descriptions of torsion machines comes to us around the 6th century AD, and after that we hear nothing about a torsion-based weapon. We don't even see torsion skeins being used for anything else. What takes its place? People were still fighting each other, people still needed machines to hurl things. Well, that's where the Mangonel comes from. Mangonels almost certainly started as traction trebuchets, groups of men pulling down on one end of a machine with a projectile attached to the other end to hurl that projectile using manpower. And they used the word Mangonel to describe this. Well, in the future, people got lazy and decided to use counterweight, abuse the physics engine of the game, let gravity do the work. Now, this wasn't actually just them being lazy. Gravity is insanely efficient at flinging projectiles. The counterweight trebuchet is the undisputed medieval or ancient machine for when you want to hurl a large rock in a lobbing trajectory. A lot of times armies would skirmish and then eventually end up hiding in their castle and the siege was on. And trebuchets are great at that. Trebuchets are not very good at a field battle because they don't have that flat trajectory. They are not mobile at all because those counterweights are heavy. So you really just don't see trebuchets fielded in field battles. Unlike the ancient siege weapons, which could be used in a field battle, and the main use of an ancient siege weapon wasn't to destroy a wall, it was to keep the defenders' heads down so your men could continue the siege works like building the siege ramp, rolling up the siege ram, or siege towers, what have you. Trebuchets also weren't really used to destroy walls. They were used to hurl stones over the walls into the town behind it to lower enemy morale. But we're getting into the minutia, we gotta stay on the point here, the torsion Mangonel myth. So where does the misinformation come from? Well, at some point, assuredly, the medieval sources got their hands on the ancient manuscripts. The ancient manuscripts describing torsion machines are passed down to us from copies of monks transcribing stuff they most certainly did not understand. At some point, the monks got their hands on an ancient source describing an onager, and without knowing what an onager was, without knowing what torsion was, without knowing how the ancients used these field artillery weapons, they took their best guess at drawing one of these machines. And our earliest depiction of one of these machines comes to us from 1326. This is the earliest depiction of a medieval author drawing a torsion-based weapon, and it looks like this. Yeah, that is mechanically confusing. Scholars are led to believe that he was trying to draw something from the ancient sources he didn't understand. Also, in that same book from 1326, he has a depiction of a cannon, one of the earliest depictions of a cannon in Europe. So in our earliest depiction of torsion in medieval times, they also already had gunpowder weapons. Well, if you have gunpowder weapons, torsion weapons don't matter anymore, even though it pains me to say it, because gunpowder weapons are lame. Trebuchets are kind of lame compared to torsion weapons too. It's simple. It's a brute. Us enlightened men prefer something a little more complicated, something with a more complex flavor. 2 torsion springs, the ballista. It's a better weapon. So yes, the misinformation comes from medieval or Renaissance artists getting their hands on the ancient sources, not knowing what they have. Those ancient sources have already gone through a couple hundred years of telephone, and now the medieval and Renaissance artists are going to start drawing these machines, and the game of telephone is going to continue with copies, just more and more corrupt. But these medieval and Renaissance depictions, they existed. We do not have a single actual depiction of an onager from an ancient source. All the information we have on onagers comes to us from the ancient manuscripts that were passed on through the monks, the copies of the copies of the copies. The first somewhat accurate recreation of an onager, of a torsion-based weapon, comes to us from my man Jean-Baptiste Auguste Vercher de Riffy, and I have a whole documentary if you want to hear about that. That's really cool. But he was working in the 1860s. That gives us from the fall of Rome in 476 AD to the 1860s, where everyone's just trying to guess what a torsion-based flinging machine would look like. And that is where the misinformation lies. Those 1,000+ years of guesswork became reality, and it still lingers into modern times. Almost every game, every movie, everything Hollywood will describe a catapult as this, or they'll call this a mangonel. Both catapult and mangonel, just a blanket term to mean any machine that hurls something downrange. Well, almost assuredly, this is what a mangonel is. This is a catapulta, and a catapult is a blanket term for any machine that hurls something downrange. So they're kind of right on that part. This single arm bucket machine is a catapult, but it is not a mangonel. The etymology of siege weapons is another thing we could spend way too long on. So now, before anyone in the comments gets in a little bit of an uproar, gets in a tizzy and starts yelling at me, yes, the springald does exist. The springald, coming to us in the 13th century AD, is a torsion-based weapon from medieval people. But Siege Captain, you said they don't have torsion weapons. Yes, that is true. I was also spreading misinformation. The medieval engineers did build a torsion weapon, and that is the springald. If you look at the springald, you can see the torsion springs clear as day. But what you don't see, they are not consulting the mathematical formulas needed to build a high-performance machine. The springald is a device that works, not a machine that performs. Although, the springald does have its arms swinging on the inside of its frame. Oh, arms swinging on the inside of the frame, very interesting. That's for a different video. Like and subscribe if you're interested in nuanced discussions of siege weapons. There's lots more to come. So where does this leave our friend Michael Reeves? Well, he wasn't trying to be historically accurate. He was trying to be entertaining, and his video is extremely entertaining. But he fell victim to medieval misinformation, because the first thing he thought of when he wanted to fling a dog using a catapult, which I definitely would never want to fling any dog using a catapult. The first thing he thought of was that single arm bucket machine. And I'm here to do my due diligence to try to do away with that misinformation. If you want to be historically accurate when flinging animals, you need to build a trebuchet, because people use trebuchets to fling animals all the time. Dead animals that were full of disease, dead bodies full of disease, human bodies. Yeah, people flung those all the time out of trebuchets. So Michael Reeves, he's not original. He's just the most recent example in the proud line of humans who sat there and looked at animals and thought, I wonder how far I can fling that thing. That's all I have for you today. Don't fall for medieval misinformation. As always, I am an eternal student. If I got anything wrong, please let me know in the comments below. It is the truth that I'm after. I do not want to live in ignorance. Thank you for your time, dear viewer. Time is the one thing we cannot get more of, and I am so happy you decided to spend some of your time with me today. I hope it was worth it. If it was, please give me a like, please give me a subscribe, share this video. Lots more to come. Go forth, go fling a dog off a roof. Do not fling a dog off a roof. Dogs do not deserve to be flung off of roofs. Unless it's this guy. And siege the day.